Good morning. My name is Tony Mammoliti, and I am the president of ORAC. Over the past year, the ORAC team has been working hard to ensure that ORAC continues to bring value to you, our valued contractor members. We found that one of the best ways to add value to your ORAC experience was to create a manual that explains what ORAC is, how it functions, and what resources we can offer to you. So we created the ORAC Commercial Contractors Manual. The manual is intended for use by all employees within a contractor's company, not just the people involved in labor relations. The contractor manual was initially released in January 2021. The manual has also been uploaded to the newly updated ORAC website so that you and your team have access to it whenever it's required. It is hoped that each member of our field organizations will become familiar with the document. We will also ensure that all new ORAC members are introduced to this document as part of their orientation onboarding process. You can find the ORAC Commercial Contractors Manual on the ORAC.ca website. First, you will need to log into your contractor account by clicking on the Login button on the top right-hand side of the screen. If you do not have a login or are having trouble using an existing login from our old website, please follow the instructions shown on the screen. Once you are logged into your account, you can hover over the Members Only tab, then click on ORAC Contractor Manual. You are then taken to the manual's webpage that shows our introductory letter and a recording of this video in case you need to refer to it in the future. You can also download the manual by clicking Click here to download and save it in a safe place. Please feel free to contact ORAC office with questions or further explanations on accessing the document online. I'd like to begin the manual overview on the table of contents page. Here you can see the entire layout of the manual. Each section is clickable and will take you to the corresponding page or pages you're looking for. Section 1 of the document describes the purpose of this document, which we have just discussed. Section 2 provides a brief history of ORAC, which you can read at your own leisure. You may find this interesting. Section 3 explains that ORAC is registered as a not-for-profit organization and that we are required to hold quarterly board meetings and an annual general meeting. What Section 3 doesn't show is how we try to get our members involved with the association as much as possible, which also means having fun along the way. I trust you will find our AGMs, especially our in-person AGMs, are a great way to meet other ORAC members. But I digress. If you are not aware of it already, ORAC is unique. In Section 4, the manual outlines how we are one of the few associations in North America that is dedicated to the HVAC trade. In addition, we are one of the few trades that is province-wide with only one local. We build long-term relationships with our UA Local 787 partners, and we have no seniority clause and no hiring hall. This gives our members the opportunity to grow their own highly competent teams. These are very unique and beneficial aspects of ORAC. Finally, to maintain a high quality of first-year apprentices entering the trade, ORAC manages the joint apprenticeship intake program between UA Local 787, the JTAC, and ORAC. Recently, this program has become completely virtual and yet allows for face-to-face interviews before the final offer. The Apprentice Intake program is further outlined in Section 17. In Section 5, you will see the various membership types of ORAC. Although all UA Local 787 contractor members are represented by ORAC for construction negotiation purposes, members can also choose to become members in good standing or a MIGS for a small annual fee. This membership allows contractors access to all ORAC resources and attend all ORAC functions. In addition, ORAC is very proud of its associate members. Associate members are companies who sell products or provide services to our contractor members. The board is very committed to the associate members and encourage new members to join and participate. This is a great way for contractors to meet new people and learn of new technologies offered in our industry. As you can see from above, ORAC truly values relationships, whether it be with our employees, our union partners, our new members, and our long service members. That is why we have an active recognition program as well, as described in Section 6. In Section 7, we get into the real heart of the matter, labor relations. How many of you have seen the actual book that describes the collective bargaining agreement, or as we call it, the CBA? I think this year's book is great. How many of you knew that this book actually includes two separate agreements? Yes, the book includes both the ICI construction agreement and the service and maintenance agreement. These two agreements are very similar, but have the same look and feel. Let's see if you can spot the differences. Section 7 also describes the labor relation process and how we negotiate a new agreement every 3 years. For those of you with an interest in joining the Labor Relations Committee at some point, I suggest you give this section a real good read. In Section 8, you will find the other unique features of ORAC and the CBA with regards to the Industry Committee. With most other industry associations, if there is a grievance, the union typically sends it directly to the Ontario Labour Board. This usually involves lawyers and can be very time-consuming and expensive for the contractor. At ORAC, we have negotiated with the union within the CBA that before any grievance can go to the Labour Board, it must be brought before an industry committee made up of a panel of union and contractor representatives. So I suggest that before you have any grievances or issues with employees, call the managing director at ORAC, Mike Verge, and discuss your possible options. I think you will be glad you did. Section 9, Progressive Discipline, is probably the most important section of the manual, at least as far as the ORAC office staff is concerned. In the construction and service business like we are, and in this HVAC industry, it is important that contractors build positive long-term relationships with all employees, including field workers. If business slows down and you must lay off a few members, Article 25 of the CBA describes the process to do so. However, if one of your members is underperforming, Section 9 describes a process of progressive discipline that you must follow to improve the situation and certainly before you terminate an employee. The focus here is to help the employee and the supervisor work together to improve performance. Only after this progressive discipline process is completed can a manager terminate an employee. Even after this, it is suggested that the contractor contact Local 787 management team to prepare them for the issue. It is important to keep Local 787 in the loop whenever the situation or type of situation arises. If you don't follow these procedures, it is likely that you will end up before the industry committee, just described, with a grievance for wrongful dismissal. As an example, it is better to deal with the issues up front. One thing that never seems to get enough attention is nominations to the ORAC board, as described in Section 10. The term of each board member is 2 years, which means that every year a few board positions are up for election. There is a nominations committee that presents the slate of candidates at every AGM. If you're interested in being nominated, please read this section and make yourself known to the nominations committee. Section 11 and 12 describe the roles of staff at the ORAC office and outlines all the ORAC events that are planned in a typical year. Section 13 describes how important the committees are to the function of the association and can be important to any member wishing to join the board. The list of committees is described in the appendix. Have a look and see where you'd like to participate. We are always looking for new committee members. Section 14 outlines details on the associate committee for associate members. Section 15 describes two of the most popular offerings at ORAC, brazing and the TSSA P standard drawings. These offerings are described in this manual, but since they are so dynamic, it is suggested that you contact the ORAC office for the current situation. Section 16 describes ORAC's marketing and social media initiatives, including our cool newsletter. Section 17 and 18 further describe the JTC and the Apprentice Intake Committee. The Apprentice Intake program is managed by the Apprentice Intake Committee which consists of ORAC contractor members that meet twice a year to continually optimize this process. The process includes testing and interviews of applicants, which is now done completely online. The result of this extensive evaluation process is that the top candidates are selected and put on the ready-to-hire list. Contractors are then invited to select the best contract candidates to their prospective positions from this list. This process helps to ensure that only the best and the brightest candidates are available for contractors as soon as they are needed. This is a truly remarkable process. Section 18 provides the correct process to follow when hiring a first-year apprentice, which is very helpful to our contractor members who often are in a position to hire a new apprentice. And finally, it is important to know that when you join ORAC, you are closely linked to other like-minded contractors across North America. Section 19 describes the industry affiliations available to you to explore. Should you ever have a need to discuss issues that are slightly outside of your area of expertise, please give the ORAC office a call, because when you join ORAC, you are not alone. Section 20 is the appendix of the manual that includes the bylaws, the current board of directors and volunteers, and contacts at the union and at the GTAC. Make sure that you refer to this appendix as soon as you see fit. Finally, every industry has acronyms that nobody understands. Section 21 describes the key acronyms at ORAC and explains what they all mean to get more out of your ORAC membership. Please share this document with any member you see fit. As president of your association, I wish you the best success and have a great year. I am now available to take your questions.